everyone, and welcome back to So Precious. So, today I want to talk about communication. You can speak about hours if it comes to the topic of communication, but there's just something briefly I want to share, but at the same time also hear your opinion, how you think about it. So what I realized at work or with youth ministry or even at church, talking to people seems more complicated than it actually could be. What I realize is there's always a conflict because we are all different, we are all unique, and we are very preciously made. But that is also the challenge. So what I realized, for example, when it happens at work, someone does something or doesn't do something and it upsets one of the teammates. And then people just keep quiet, thinking, whatever. It is never whatever because it still stays in your mind. So, number one, always speak your mind. It's very important. But there we come to number two. There's a point that you cannot say whatever anymore because it just keeps running through your mind. Anytime the person walks up, this situation pops up and you kind of feel like, ugh. And you try to relax. You tell yourself, relax, whatever, don't mind the person. So number two is don't only speak your mind, but reflect on why do you feel the way you feel. Then people kind of get upset and start talking to another person about what they are so mad about or what they don't understand or what makes them angry about the other person. So number three, don't talk to other people unless you have spoken to the person you have a problem with, unless you need an advice. So for example, you get upset because your spouse or your work colleague or your friend did something or didn't do something, and you're so upset that you feel like you cannot talk to the person right now. Go to another wise person, and you can share your heart, but then at the same time, go and ask, how can I speak to the person? If you don't do this, it is just talking bad about another person, not trying to solve the problem. But there was a reason why you liked the person before. There's a reason why you got along with the person before. So just because of this incident, friendships break, relationships break with no reason. So always when you need to share what is on your heart with another person, except the person that is actually involved, don't just share your mind or speak your mind, but ask for advice. Next step is go. Go to the person, not away from the person. We human beings tend to, if things get complicated, then we run away. We have the best excuses why we shouldn't talk to a person, why we shouldn't solve the problems. The person doesn't want to solve it, the person did it on purpose, should know better, the person should be more wise how to react, what to say. However, go towards the person. Don't wait for another person to walk towards you. Go to the person. Why? Forgiveness is the greatest power next to love that we have. Forgiveness sets us free. If we forgive, we set another person free. So it is about your own freedom. It's about your health. It's about your joy. It's about you being able to live life in a very comfortable way and really pleasant way. Forgiveness. So go to the person. Don't talk about the person. Don't walk away from the person. Go towards the person. When you do this, their communication gets to a new level, another level, because there's anger inside of you. There's some unpleasantness in you. There's a reason maybe you are upset or you are even discouraged or hurt or whatever. So your emotions are on a level that doesn't make you speak to the person in a normal way, but you feel like accusing. You did this. I'm so disappointed in you. I'm so hurt because you did this and this. So also there, communication is so powerful and so healing and so restoring if we do it in the right way. So what I learned so far is that in the Western culture, we have a way of working in communication, and that is guilt. You have the guilt, I have the guilt, we are guilt, we have guilt. It's all about trying to find out who's guilty. In the Eastern, it's different because it's all about shame. So what you did brought shame to the family. What you did brought shame to me, and both of them lead to death. It doesn't have to be the physical death, but definitely soulish. It can actually lead to death. So that is why both ways are not healthy. So which one to choose? That is the question. So now when you walk towards a person and you feel like someone did you wrong, and you ask the person, you go to the person and say like, hey, the way you do this or the way you don't do this disturbs me. That is a very selfish and egoistic movement, and it will not be helping, because if you go towards the person like that, the other person feels like has to defend or protect himself. So this is the most unhealthy way of communication. If you want to communicate in a way that brings healing, restoration, and also freedom in this relationship, the best way I can advise to go, and it's always challenging, me myself, I am always challenged to go this way and trying my best to do it, is when you move towards a person and you don't feel comfortable right now with the person, what the person is doing, what the person has said, just go to the person and ask. So I realized, or my perception is that you are doing this and this and this, or you're not doing this and this and this, or you're behaving a certain way, and it really disturbs me, it really irritates me, or I kind of feel hurt. But I want to understand, like, why are you doing this that way? I really want to understand. And when you do this, you give the other person a freedom to explain themselves. So either the person doesn't want to explain because that person is not interested in restoring, because has another problem why, I don't know, doesn't want to talk to you. That is okay, because then you try to really bring restoration into his relationship, but you have spoken, you've shared your heart, but you are interested in why the other person did it. So that is a very selfless way of trying to communicate and bring restoration between two of you. But then maybe the other person has a reason, like has so much in mind, or problems right now, or was not even thinking about it, or was not even intending to hurt you. And you give the other person the freedom to like just share with you, and sometimes they open up and tell you things you have never expected. And that's how there's power in forgiveness, and there's power in forgiving. So a shout out to all you guys out there. Be encouraged, communicate like crazy, but also like just look at it as another perspective of how do I communicate? How do I clarify things? How do I solve problems and go towards the person and not away from the person? So God bless you. Have a good evening and see you soon. So stay precious. Bye.